Welcome back to the Good World Facts and News channel. The salty air stings your face, a reminder of the relentless ocean winds that have shaped the lives of countless sailors and adventurers. The cries of gulls pierce the air, their calls echoing the timeless struggle between man and sea. On the horizon, a ship with black sails billows, a skull and crossbones stark against the setting sun, signaling the approach of danger and adventure. Pirates. The very word evokes images of swashbuckling adventure, buried treasure and daring escapes on the high seas. These figures have become legends, their stories passed down through generations. For centuries, pirates have captured imaginations, inspiring countless tales of daring and danger. Their exploits have been immortalized in books, movies and folklore. But who were these maritime marauders? Were they merely ruthless villains, or were they something more complex? Their lives were a blend of brutality and a quest for freedom. This is the story of the golden age of piracy, a period spanning roughly from the 1650s to the 1730s, when piracy was at its peak. During this time, the Caribbean Sea, the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean became hunting grounds for pirates from various nations and backgrounds, each with their own motives and stories. Driven by a potent mix of greed, ambition and a thirst for freedom, these seafaring outlaws challenged the established order, amassing fortunes and striking fear into the hearts of sailors and merchants alike. Their audacity knew no bounds. From the legendary Blackbeard to the enigmatic Anne Bonny, the world of pirates was filled with larger-than-life characters who continue to fascinate us today. Their stories are a testament to their enduring legacy. Their exploits, both real and imagined, have seeped into our collective consciousness, inspiring books, movies, and even our own language. The impact of their tales is undeniable. Avast ye and shiver me timbers are just a taste of the colorful vocabulary we've inherited from these rogues of the sea. Their influence on our language is a small part of their vast cultural impact. But beyond the romanticized image lies a harsher reality. The life of a pirate was not all adventure and treasure. Pirate life was fraught with danger, violence, and uncertainty. Every day was a battle for survival. Disease, storms, and naval battles were constant threats. The sea was as much an enemy as any naval fleet, and while the allure of treasure was strong, the reality was that most pirates lived short, brutal lives. The promise of riches often led to a violent end. Join us as we delve into the captivating and often brutal world of pirates, separating fact from fiction and exploring the enduring legacy of these maritime outlaws. Their story is one of adventure, danger, and an unyielding quest for freedom. Please take a moment to like and subscribe or walk the plank. The many faces of piracy. Piracy, in its simplest form, is the act of robbery or criminal violence at sea. It involves attacking and plundering ships, often with brutal force, to steal valuable cargo and sometimes even the ships themselves. It's a practice as old as seafaring itself, with evidence suggesting pirates have plagued shipping lanes for millennia. From the earliest days of maritime trade, pirates have been a constant threat, lurking in the shadows, ready to strike. Ancient texts tell of seafaring raiders in the Mediterranean, preying on Roman merchant ships. These early pirates were feared and loathed, disrupting trade and causing havoc across the seas. The Vikings, notorious for their raids and conquests, were essentially pirates themselves, terrorizing coastal communities across Europe. Their longships allowed them to strike swiftly and retreat just as quickly, leaving destruction in their wake. However, the pirates of the Golden Age were a different breed. This period, roughly spanning the late 17th and early 18th centuries, saw a dramatic increase in piracy, driven by a unique set of circumstances. This era saw a convergence of factors that led to a surge in maritime raiding. The decline of powerful navies, the end of major wars, and the vast wealth being transported across the oceans created a perfect storm for piracy to thrive. European powers hungry for wealth and colonies clashed in the New World, their ships laden with gold, silver, and valuable goods. These heavily laden vessels became prime targets for pirates, who saw an opportunity to amass fortunes. This created a tempting target for opportunistic sailors, many of whom were former privateers, essentially legal pirates hired by governments to attack enemy ships. When their commissions ended, they often turned to piracy to continue their lucrative, albeit dangerous, careers. When wars ended and their services were no longer needed, these skilled sailors, accustomed to violence and the lure of riches, often turned to piracy. They brought with them their knowledge of naval warfare and their thirst for adventure. Others were driven by poverty, desperation, or a desire to escape the rigid social hierarchies of life on land. For many, piracy offered a chance at freedom and a better life, away from the oppressive conditions they faced. Pirates came from all walks of life. They were a diverse group, united by their shared pursuit of wealth and adventure on the high seas. Some were hardened criminals, while others were escaped slaves seeking freedom. The pirate life offered them a chance to break free from their past and forge a new identity. There were even a handful of women who disguised themselves as men to join pirate crews. These daring women defied societal norms and proved themselves as capable and ruthless as their male counterparts. The Caribbean, with its numerous islands and hidden coves, became a haven for pirates. Its strategic location and abundant resources made it an ideal base for their operations. Places like Port Royal in Jamaica and Nassau in the Bahamas transformed into bustling pirate hubs, offering safe harbor, taverns overflowing with rum, and black markets where stolen goods could be traded. These ports became infamous for their lawlessness and debauchery, but piracy wasn't confined to the Caribbean. It spread across the globe wherever there were valuable goods to be had. It flourished wherever there were valuable goods to be had, from the coasts of Africa and the Indian Ocean to the shipping lanes of North America. Pirates adapted to different environments, always on the lookout for their next prize. The golden age of piracy produced a cast of characters as diverse as the ships they sailed. This era, spanning from the late 17th century to the early 18th century, saw pirates become both feared and romanticized figures in maritime history. Some achieved legendary status, their names whispered in fear and awe. These pirates were not just criminals, they were complex individuals with their own codes and cultures. Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard, remains perhaps the most iconic pirate of all. His name alone could strike terror into the hearts of sailors and merchants alike. With his thick black beard, said to be braided with lit fuses in battle, booming voice and fearsome reputation, Blackbeard cultivated an image of terrifying brutality. His appearance was designed to intimidate, and it worked. He commanded several ships and terrorized the Caribbean and American colonies, blockading the port of Charleston in 1718 before meeting his end in a bloody battle with the Royal Navy. His death marked the end of an era, but his legend lived on. Stede Bonnet, nicknamed the Gentleman Pirate, presents a stark contrast. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Bonnet came from a life of privilege and wealth. A wealthy landowner from Barbados, Bonnet abandoned his comfortable life to become a pirate, reportedly due to marital problems. His story is one of the most unusual in pirate lore. He purchased a ship, hired a crew, and set sail despite having little sailing experience himself. His lack of experience often led to comical and disastrous outcomes. While Bonnet's career was short-lived and marked by more misadventures than successes, his unusual background and gentlemanly demeanor make him a fascinating figure. His story serves as a reminder that piracy attracted individuals from all walks of life. Then there's Bartholomew Roberts, known as Black Bart, who captured and plundered more ships than any other pirate of his time. His exploits were legendary, and his name became synonymous with pirate success. He was a skilled navigator and tactician, amassing a fortune before being killed in battle with the Royal Navy in 1722. His death marked the decline of the golden age of piracy. These are just a few of the many infamous pirates who sailed the seas during the Golden Age, each with their own unique story, motivations, and methods. Their tales continue to captivate our imaginations, reminding us of a time when the seas were ruled by these notorious outlaws. The romanticized image of a pirate's life, filled with adventure, treasure, and freedom, often overshadows the harsh realities. Life aboard a pirate ship was dangerous, dirty, and often brutally short. Disease was rampant, with scurvy, dysentery, and typhoid fever common killers. Medical care was rudimentary at best, and many pirates died from infected wounds or illnesses that would be easily treatable today. Storms posed a constant threat, capable of sinking even the sturdiest vessels, and then there were the battles. While Hollywood often depicts swashbuckling sword fights on deck, the reality was far more brutal. Cannons roared, showering ships with splinters of wood and deadly grape shot. Close-quarters combat was bloody and chaotic, with cutlasses, pistols, and brute force employed with deadly effect. Even in victory, pirates faced danger. Captured pirates were rarely shown mercy. They were often hanged in public executions, their bodies left to rot in gibbets as a warning to other would-be outlaws. Yet, despite the risks, thousands were drawn to the allure of piracy. For some, it offered an escape from poverty or persecution. For others, it was a chance to strike it rich, to seize their own destiny in a world where opportunities were often limited by birth and social standing.